All right, hey everybody. We are here today with Matt Hunt. Matt is the CFO of a healthcare company. Matt lost 90 pounds on GLP-1s, and he is living with MS. And we are going to talk about all three. So thank you very much for joining me.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, so we've known each other for a very long time. I've known Matt since, I guess, right out of college, right?
Yeah, about 28 years.
So we've kind of been through all of life together, I guess most of the adult part of it, which is part of what we're going to talk about today. Let's start with MS. So what were the symptoms, I guess? How did that start? What were the symptoms, and how long from the symptoms did it take for you to actually get that diagnosis?
Sure. I was on vacation with my family, and literally, you can't make this up, but the week before, I sprayed my eyeglasses with bug spray, and it wrecked the film. So I had my old glasses on for like the second day, and I woke up in the morning and I had double vision, like perfect double vision, which means not blurry, but I could close one eye, see fine, close the other eye, see fine, both eyes open, literally two pictures on top of each other, and I couldn't get them to come together. Like, well, that's weird, right? I'm 35. This isn't supposed to happen, or 36. And it went away in a couple hours. But it flagged me. It flagged the back of my mind. I was like, well, that's kind of weird. So I was in Florida with some mutual friends, actually. And then the next morning, same thing. And then it went away. And then I went back to work the next week, and it just was like, that's weird, right? And WebMD gave me all kinds of crazy stuff.
You went to it that quick.
Yeah, within a few days.
Yeah.
And I went to my general practitioner, who wasn't my general. I actually went and found a general practitioner and went to the doctor. And literally, he's like, well, shit happens when you get older.
But you were overweight at the time.
Yeah, I've been overweight my whole life. Right. We'll get into that in probably more detail, but I've been a big boy most of my life. So, but he just said like, yeah, that happens. And I remember thinking like, that's kind of weird. But also, thankfully, the doctor did not come off as like completely on top of his game, and he seemed like he had one foot out the door.
Yeah.
And I went and made an appointment at my optometrist because I needed the new glasses anyways. And I said, by the way, this happened. And she looked at me, and she, literally, optometrist is usually like, what letters do you see? Yeah. She was poking and prodding. And she said, I don't see anything, but I want you to go to a neuro-ophthalmologist specialist in Piedmont. It's like, cool, I'll do whatever you want. And then I went, and I ended up checking it out. The moral of the story is within 2 weeks, I was diagnosed with MS.
Wow. I think optometrists might be some of the smartest people out there. I don't know why. I feel like they connect a lot of dots.
Shout out to Amy Jeffries.
Amy Jeffries.
My doctor said no problem. And my optometrist in Noonan said, this is something you need to look into.
Do we want to call out the doctor?
Amy Jeffries.
No, the one that...
Oh, I think he's since retired.
We won't do that.
He used to be in Tyrone, though.
Oh, okay. So what was that like? Because that's a big, heavy, whatever. The moment you heard that, how did it hit?
Yeah, it hit hard. I mean, really what I say, and, it's not possible to explain MS unless you have it, but I literally tell people that when she told me I had MS, I felt like she gave it to me, because your brain is awesome, right? Your brain filters out signals all the time. So, there could be for my example, I have multiple lesions in my brain. Like I had all kinds of scar tissue in my brain when we did the MRI, but I never knew it. So, I happen to have numb pinkies all the time, my whole life. Like ever since she told me. The day she told me, I have the end of the finger, the pinky toe, the little pinky ends are numb.
They always have been.
And not until she told me I have MS. So and literally within an hour, stuff started tingling all over, and I felt stuff that I hadn't. It was like my brain had permission to like, oh wait, those signals we've been filtering out, those might be real now. And it was very creepy. I literally drove home from Piedmont to Peachtree City where I lived. And the whole way down, I just started feeling weird stuff all over. It was very, very freaky.
So did you ever consider keeping it a secret at all, whether just from your wife or just from friends and family or anybody?
No, but respect to anyone that does, but who I am as a person. Like, if you want to keep a secret, do not tell me. I can't even throw a surprise party. Like, I tell everybody everything. Literally, the day I was diagnosed, I told my boss, which is probably dumb. I told my wife. I announced it on Facebook within a couple of days. Like, I'm an open book. Like, I don't like living with, does that person know? Like, I don't play all those games.
See, I'm the same way. I always wondered, I don't know why I had that weird thought. I always thought that, okay, if I get cancer, I don't want to tell anybody because I don't want people bringing me this and feeling sorry. But then I know myself, and I tell people when I got a headache,
right?
Like I posted, so there's no way I'm getting away with that.
Yeah,
so
I'm just, and there was no strategy behind. I just am not wired that way.
Yeah. So how does the family react? Is that, I'm sure, do you think it was an overreaction, or were they as in, oh my God, you're dying, or a very positive, we're going to beat this? Like, I'm talking about the initial.
Yeah. So 36. I have a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old. I'm theoretically in the prime of life. And my wife and I immediately talk about how are we going to try to pay off our house? How are we going to downsize? What are we going to do? Because the Wikipedia at the time was like, chances are you'll be in a wheelchair in 12 years and there's no cure. And it's a downward spiral of it's just terrible, right?
Yeah.
It's just terrible. Like everything you read initially. In fact, I only knew one person. My neighbor's father-in-law had MS, and he had it his whole life. And literally, I was just trying to reach out and get information. I bought every book you could buy. Like, thank you, Yamaha. I spent the first year after my diagnosis, I think I went into work and I just did the bare minimum and just researched. I was just reading everything I could. But I met with the guy. He had MS for 50 years. And he was like, no matter what they tell you, there's no cure, and it's terrible, and it's going to be with you forever, and it's just a world of shit. That's kind of what he said to me, and I'm just like, oh.
He was trying to make it sound like it was worse. Like,
no, yeah, there was no
nothing positive.
And I'm an optimistic person. I was like, okay, what's the good part, right?
Yeah.
So it was really a struggle for a while. In fact, I was depressed, and not looking back. Like, I didn't know it at the time, but I always measure it on how many times I think about it. And I imagine people that go through cancer the same way, or it's kind of like lifelong illness. I used to think about it every 5 seconds.
Wow.
And now, and we'll get to it. Like you, other than me telling people, you wouldn't know I have MS.
Right.
Like, yeah, my pinkies are a little numb, but like I can run a 5K. I've never taken a bad step. I have 30 something lesions in my brain. I have lesions on my spinal cord. I've been immensely lucky, by the way. Like, I've been very fortunate throughout this, but I didn't have the issues that a lot of people have. And so I've been lucky. I want to say that. Like, it's not like, oh, I did this thing, and if you're smart, you can overcome it. Right. Like, there's for sure a luck involved. But now I still think about it, and it doesn't really affect me. I still think about it probably once a week.
Yeah.
Well, which is good. That's a good spot to be.
Yeah, it's very good.
Like, yeah, I'm fortunate.
So I've only heard the term lesions only recently, tied with, I guess, cancer, brain cancer or whatever. So what is a lesion to someone else, I guess?
MS is your body attacks the myelin, which is the fatty sheath that, think about like an electrical wire, the rubber sheath that guards.
Do that on camera.
That guards the wire. The fatty material, it basically attacks that, so your nerves malfunction and signals are bad and messaging is bad.
So do the lesions, are they growing, shrinking? Are you getting more, or is that a concern at all? Or
so
is that part of MS?
It's part of MS. It's you will likely, if you have MS, you will likely have attacks with new lesions throughout your life. Okay. That's generally, and how they measure the drugs is how effective they are at stopping lesions.
Okay.
Right. So when I say lesions, I have scar tissue and you can see them on the MRI. It's like a little white spot, and then eventually after many years it turns into a black spot.
Okay. So MS, you have drugs that you take to manage MS. There's no cure or...
There's no cure, right?
Right. I think of it like, so my mom was recently diagnosed with lung cancer, and it spread to her brain, and she qualified for it's not a cancer pill. I'm not allowed to call it a chemo pill for whatever, but it has made those lesions disappear. Now, they were very, very small,
Right.
and it hasn't been a long time, but that was huge. They say they disappear. I don't know if I think we did say they've gotten so small that now they don't measure them, or they're undetectable, right? So is that something that can happen with any of these? Or is this totally different type of lesion?
Everyone has their own story, and I've heard anecdotal evidence and people say like, oh, my lesions disappeared, but I don't know how to believe that.
Right.
My neurologist said they do not disappear.
Okay.
And it's probably a different MRI machine doesn't detect them the same way, and they don't show up the same way. But if you had your lesions disappear, awesome. Like I'm not here to like argue that point.
Right.
But yeah.
So what was the first step?
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to eat healthier. I mean, what does the doctor say? Okay, let's make you live the longest. What do we got to do? You got to lose 50 pounds, or we got to exercise more, or less stress? Did they say you can no longer strive to be CFO of a company because that's too stressful? What was the doctor's recommendation straight away?
So it's all of the above, right? My first doctor was at the Shepherd Center, and they said, you're going to take this pill, take it twice a day, and we'll see what happens. And I'm like, I want to see what happens. Like, I heard that what happens is not good, right?
Yeah.
Like, I wanted more. And I was at the Shepherd Center for a year, and I'm sure they give good care to some people, but it wasn't a great fit for me. Yeah. And this is where, again, I've been lucky. I'll say that. But I was at work one day, and one of my friends is a drug rep, and he said, "Hey, have you heard of Dr. LeGank?" I said, "No, I haven't." He said, "Oh, he's a guy. He's a neurologist in Alabama, and his mom had MS, and he told his mom that he was going to grow up and be a neurologist and cure MS." I was like, "Oh, that's a cool story. Like, awesome." And then literally same week, different drug rep called me about the same guy. They both live in Peachtree City. They do not know each other.
The drug reps live in
Peachtree City? The two drug reps know each other. They're both friends of mine. They don't know each other. It wasn't like a concerted effort.
Yeah.
And he called me and asked me if I knew about Dr. LeGank. I'm not super religious, but I was like, that's a thing.
Yeah.
I think that's called a God wink, right?
Yeah.
That's a thing. And but also I kept going about my life. Like, I have 3 kids, and I was living my life and reading. And then a couple weeks later, the first guy that called me back, and he's like, "Hey, remember how I told you about Dr. LeGank?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are you gonna make an appointment?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do that." And I really thought I wanted to do it, but I was like, I wasn't gonna call him that day.
I'll get to it.
It's like, all right, I'm gonna hand the phone to his receptionist. He just canceled his vacation next week. You can't normally get in for a year, but like, he has openings, so I'm gonna hand you the phone right now. And I was like, okay. So I talked to, I think her name was Mary. But I talked to her, I made the appointment, and like 4 days later, I'm in Cullman, Alabama, which is rural.
I know Cullman.
Think about it.
I had a college roommate from Cullman.
Think about it. I'm going to the Shepherd Center in Atlanta, which is world renowned. Like, you think Atlanta's the center. And I met Dr. LeGank, and he gave me a path. He gave me a 2-year path to get on Lemtrada, which was it's still pretty much the strongest regimen of drug you can take. And for me personally, every time I took a pill, I was reminded of the MS. And Lemtrada is a version of chemotherapy that puts you on a path to not be on drugs again. So I haven't taken an MS drug in 7 years.
Wow.
Right. So I went and I basically did everything he said, and I got to a place. It was about 2 years in, where I was sort of at peace with it, and I stopped thinking about it all the time, because I started to think I will be able to walk for, ever, right? Knock on wood or whatever. But I just, it just slowly ebbed, right? But I was in a very dark place for a year or two.
So how does this move into the weight loss? Because you briefly told me
Sure.
I'm sure you just started eating perfectly. I feel like I remember we'd go out and all of a sudden it was just a chicken breast and blah, blah, blah. But how did the diet start? And then how did you go on GLP-1s just to lose weight? Or is it somehow connected to MS in the beginning?
So I'm going to pause the GLP thing, right? So the first day I knew I had MS, I started, I found a website and a book and a doctor in Australia called Overcoming Multiple Sclerosis. And they gave me a path where, like you can overcome this, and it's not the death sentence that everyone says it is, right?
Right.
So part of that is to make it easy, it's vegan, but it's really no saturated fat, right? No dairy, no meat. There's no saturated fat, and not having saturated fat is tough.
Yeah.
And day one, I was like, okay, I'm in. So I'm not going to say I was perfect, but I was dang near perfect for a year being a vegan.
Wow.
And I went to your boot camp then, same time.
Yeah.
And I had
God,
I was
that
in a
seems
place
like so long ago.
where I
Yeah.
needed to do that.
Yeah.
So I embraced it, and I think I got down to like 250. I lost 40 pounds maybe at the time.
Right.
And I started getting more in shape.
And that was at before 40, 39?
35, 36.
Oh, 35.
36.
Oh, it's okay. It's
Yeah, 36. So but I was in the best shape I had been in my adult life. I was eating very clean.
Yeah.
I was in a terrible mental spot, right? I was in the darkness, like the depression and that first, I could tell you, like, it was tough. Yeah. I'd go home and I wasn't a great husband. I wasn't a great dad. I just put my nose in the books and I just read, and I wasn't the same person. I was kind of like a shell of who I was for that, a year. And then after, when I met Dr. Legank and I started getting on that path where I can set my sights on something that's like scientific. I'm not like, oh, it's vegan. Because again, I'm eating well and I'm technically, physically better.
Right.
But I don't feel good. I was like depressed. It was depression, right? So there's a whole mental aspect of this that you got to get your mind around too. And I think personally, my experience with MS, getting your head right and not having that stress. Because of course you have stress, right? I was just told I have this lifetime death sentence kind of thing. And there's no way to be like, oh, gee, that's going to be fine.
Right.
So, but once I got over that and my mind started clearing and I started getting at peace, and I was doing mindfulness, I was doing meditation. I chased every little thing I could do. I've done acupuncture. I've done a lot of stuff. And I finally got to a place where I was at peace with it. And when my mind got right about it, honestly, most of the symptoms that I was experiencing subsided.
Wow. And I would imagine that is, you talk about psychological, you don't necessarily know when you're going into a depression, you don't know, is this my body shutting down because of MS? Right. Am I tired because of MS, or am I tired because of depression?
That's right.
So
you don't know.
You don't know.
Really, it's like being inside of a really complicated puzzle that you got to work your way out of.
Yeah.
And you can't say, hey, get me out of this puzzle, right? You literally have to solve it for yourself.
So obviously support from outside helps, but they're not solving that problem. They're just giving you the space and maybe taking away some of the outside stress or whatever, at least giving you the freedom to solve that problem, I guess.
Right. That's right.
Because I would imagine with kids, with a wife, with a career, where did y'all move in all of this?
It was pretty far after that.
Oh, it was after that. Okay,
yeah.
A good bit after that. So
I moved to Kennesaw when I was 40, roughly 40. So it was a few years.
So you were a couple years in, but still in the beginning, nowhere near as good as you are.
I did the Lemtrada, but the one of the points to get back to, because we're gonna move into the GLPs and the weight loss. Once I got my mind right, I got off the vegan diet, and I felt better mentally, and I felt great. Right. And I went back to eating the stuff that made me happy, like eating vegan cheese and getting a vegan pizza from Mellow Mushroom. Not quite the same.
Yeah.
If you're vegan, cool. Like, more power to anyone that wants to follow that.
If you enjoy that.
If you enjoy it, but like it wasn't my path.
Yeah.
It did not. But I learned a lot from overcoming multiple sclerosis and going through that. And like the mind part is way more important than the diet part for me.
Yeah.
But I was fat again. I
gained the weight back. You did gain the weight back.
So, in 3 years ago at 46, I was pushing 300. And my wife and I have a fake prenuptial agreement. It was kind of written as a joke, but one of the lines was 300 and I'm out.
I feel like I've heard that story.
right? And there's been a couple times where I was like, I'm not going to step on that scale because I'm pretty sure that's not going to go well. Like there was a couple of days where I'm like, and then there'd be like the 299.5, and I'm like, oh, right. So I was a 300 pounder for a good chunk of a good many years.
So then how'd that change? So you're feeling good MS wise at this point.
Right.
You're just heavy and not healthy.
Yeah, but I feel like I feel good. I'm happy, and like
you're happy,
like I'm back to. I'm not like depressive, sad Matt. That's
Right.
a different person. I'm me again.
Yeah.
But I'm also out of shape. Have I gone through periods where I've done carnivore, I've done keto, I can lose 20 or 30 pounds on a fad diet in a heartbeat. Like literally.
Well, that's pretty good because I can lose 10 pounds
in
on
10 days.
diet.
I can lose. I used to be able to lose 20 pounds, like just like that. But at the end of the day, I could also gain the weight back real fast. Right? It wasn't life changing, and I wish there was like a good story here where I could tell you like I hit this rock bottom and I did this thing. But this is what happened. My wife, all the women in our neighborhoods went to this med spa and they started taking GLP-1. And they were paying like $400 a month. They were all getting on it. They had their appointments. And my wife lost 20 pounds. And she was like, oh, this is pretty awesome. Yeah. She was happier. And I was like, cool. And then in month 2, she didn't, its effectiveness wore off a little bit, right? So then I was like, hey man, it's not really working. Do you mind if I take
GLP-1?
Do you mind if I take half?
Yeah.
So she's like, okay, you can take half. And I lost like 30 pounds, like immediately, like literally almost a miracle, right? And then, some of the people started saying like, oh, I have gastro issues. Like I'm having bathroom issues. Like I got to stop taking it. So some people it worked, some people it didn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. I'll take the whole dose then. Right. Wow. So I lost like 60 pounds within 5-6 months.
Wow.
No gastro issues. No, nothing, like no bad symptoms. And then she was like, hey, get your own. So I actually was like, okay, yeah, this is working. I'm going to do it. So I went and got my own. I went to the med spa. I was like, hey, just fun fact, I've been taking this for a few months already. Like,
so the med spas don't really, you just walk in and go, I want to lose weight. They're like, okay, sign right here. They don't really monitor.
No, there's conversations and blood tests and everything. But like, I'm sure there's others that don't do that. Right. Like I feel like mine was run by a doctor, like an MD from Piedmont that had a side hustle slinging GLP,
Pretty
right?
Smart, yeah.
Right. So, but it worked, right? And then I ended up, I think I was at about 65, 70 pounds down. And then I went to my neurologist and I was kind of worried. I was like, it's obvious. The first thing they do is weigh you. And he came in and he was like, oh. I was like, yeah, I want to talk to you about the GLP. And he's like, oh, tell me about it. And I told him my story and he's like, huh. A third of the people lose 20 pounds and it stops working or they have issues. A third of the people, the side effects are too much for them to handle. And a third of the people, it's kind of a miracle. Yeah. It just works amazing and they don't have any issues and it's great. And it turns out you might be one of those third. He said, but as far as your MS goes, I think it's great. Like, obviously there's no, I can't write you a prescription for it, but like, if it's working for you, do what you do.
So could you get medical insurance to pay for it? Or if you were going to med spa, you weren't doing that, you were just paying cash?
I wasn't doing it.
Because you said your doctor wouldn't pay for it. And the reason I asked is because I went in and my doctor tried to prescribe it and the insurance company said no. And so it was like, okay, $500 a month.
It's a good question. I don't have diabetes, right? So I didn't really chase it.
Right.
I looked into it vaguely.
I didn't press it either,
And I was like, I don't qualify for that. And it's the easy button. The med spa was not hard. So I did it. Right. Yeah, and it was, and by the way, I'm still on it.
Yeah. So when was this? How many years ago was this?
2. I've been
2 years ago.
I've been at like 65 pounds down. Like that was real fast.
Right.
And then I lost about 20 pounds, 25 pounds over the next, year. Basically a year in, I was down 80 to 90.
Wow.
And that's where I am now. And it's been a little over 2 years.
have your doses increased or plateaued, or do you hit a weight? Like, did you ever have a weight goal and then, I know they talk about microdosing
Yeah,
and cycling
sure.
on it. So was there, and I guess everybody's path is different, so it doesn't matter. But what was your path with this for the last 2 years, or since you hit
Yeah.
whatever your weight goal was?
I was increasing my dosage, and I was losing more. I bet 20 pounds, basically, that 25
Yeah.
pounds was because I increased the dose.
Okay.
And then I stopped losing weight, and they increased my dose again. And then like literally, I feel nothing. I have no symptoms. And I started to feel a little bit of something. I'm not saying it was like, oh, I have to live in the bathroom, or I
Yeah.
just started to feel like my stomach was a little uneasy. I felt like a little. I was like, maybe I'm a little nauseous, but maybe I'm not. Maybe it's because ate an ice cream cone or whatever. Like, I couldn't really pinpoint it, but I just had a general feeling of unease. So I backed off because, frankly,
Don't need it.
I don't have a goal weight that I haven't achieved.
Yeah.
Frankly, if you told me when I weighed if at 300, I said, like right now I'm 220. I said, if I'm going to be 220, I would have said, I'm going to be skinny as a rail at
Yeah.
220 because like, 80 pounds, like that's crazy. Could I lose 20 pounds more? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't feel that. And my blood pressure is great. My cholesterol is great. All my blood tests are great. And, I feel great.
See, that's great. That's crazy that you're 220 because I had gotten up. I want to talk about this the shortcut, the stigma that it's the shortcut or the easy way out, because it really annoys me when people say that because I don't talk about
cheating.
it. The cheating, yes. I got up to 220 and I'm hell almost a foot shorter than you. And I look back at photos and I would try to diet. And I'm not going to say I'm the most disciplined person, but I exercised a lot.
Yeah.
And I had a knee injury and I would try diets and I just personally think that it's harder for the people that are talking about, you're just cheating, just go out and exercise, just eat better. What the GLP-1s do, I think some people already have that naturally, and they don't have the battle that I have with food.
You don't have to think that. That's fact.
Right.
Right. The GLP is a molecule that occurs in your body.
Right.
And obviously some people have more of it than others. So so when someone says you cheated, I'm like, okay, cool. Who did I cheat?
Right.
Right. I didn't cheat me.
Yeah.
Right. Because, being overweight, being morbidly obese my entire adult life,
right,
that was cheating me.
Yeah.
Right. So now, that I have good blood pressure and I have great cholesterol and, I feel great. I can, jogging doesn't hurt my soul.
Right. And I don't, I think.
But my point to though is to cheat, you have to cheat somebody. And who are you cheating?
Right.
That's the point.
Yeah. And you're not, it's not like, I guess I think of an anorexia. It's not like we're out here eating cake and, I'm taking this medicine just so I could eat pizza and cake all the time.
Yeah.
Which is a stigma. And it's just not true because, and I didn't know a lot about it until I started doing more research just for this. Yeah. Just on how I kind of figured. It's weird that you took a medicine that you didn't even know how it worked. But I mean, basically it slows your digestion down. And that's why a lot of people have stomach issues because the food is still in their stomach.
Right.
And so it's fascinating. It's just really slowing it down. So, and here's another word, and I'm all over the place, but I'm excited about this because I reduces food noise.
Right.
Have you heard that term before?
Yeah.
So food noise is, for a lot of people, we think about food all the time. Like as soon as our food is digested from that last meal, my mind starts thinking about what is my next meal? Where can I get a snack? Ooh, I want this or that.
Right.
And what those GLP-1s do is reduce that food noise, which is that desire for your next meal.
Sure. I mean, two quick little things. First of all, I've been on business trips with people before that were in amazing shape. And I've even had people say like, it's weird. I've been traveling with you for 4 days and you eat the same that I weigh and I look like this and you look like that. And I'm like, Yeah, I don't have an answer. Like,
Yeah.
but I will say, like, I wasn't a snacker, and I wasn't like donut guy or Oreo guy, but I cleaned my plate.
Yeah.
I would fill my plate and I would clean it. Like, I grew up that way. Like in my house growing up, if you didn't finish before dad, like, you better have your fork up. Like,
Yeah.
we ate and
Yes.
we finished our plate and we
Yeah.
ate our meals. And, you do that 3 times, you know, it's like oomph, like a oomph more of food. And
Yeah.
you do that every single meal,
Every day.
every day of your life. And you're not eating salads with chicken breast.
Right.
You're eating hamburger, cheeseburger, like whatever the good stuff is. That's what
Yeah.
I ate. And I wouldn't say, like, I wasn't like eating 2 meals ever. Like
Right.
that, that's crazy talk.
Which I do like the fasting idea, which to me, the GLP-1s really helped. I was a breakfast person every day. I woke up starving
Yeah.
and always. And I took Manjaro for probably 6, 7 months and lost 30 pounds. And on my frame, that was a whole lot of weight. I've gained about 10 or 12 back, but I've pretty much maintained it.
Yeah.
But a big part of that is I've gotten away from breakfast. Like if I go to a hotel or I'm with friends or we're doing something and you go to breakfast, I love breakfast, still my favorite meal.
Right.
But on a normal work day or if I'm getting up, I get ready and I just don't eat breakfast anymore. I'm not hungry for it. And I felt like I always ate it because I was always told I had to eat it or I was supposed to eat it. I couldn't function if, I remember my mom would say it's the most important meal and you're not going to be able to focus at school if you don't eat a big breakfast. So I've broken that stigma. And I think when I was doing it, I probably wasn't eating till noon. And now I probably eat about 10:30, but at least gets me past that 7 a.m. breakfast, then a 10:30 lunch or 11 o'clock lunch, and then a 4 o'clock snack, and then dinner later. So I've probably cut out 2 meals by just doing that.
What I enjoy about it is when you're on a diet, you're sort of like in food jail, right? Like I can't eat that.
Yeah.
I can't eat that, or I don't eat that. But now I eat whatever I want to.
Right.
I just happen not to want to.
And
like if my kids make breakfast, hey dad, eat breakfast. Like, sure. Like a piece of bacon,
yeah.
a biscuit, I might eat half, and then like it's just like, oh, I'm not real hungry anymore.
So I don't know I don't know how to say that. That was the one thing that I noticed. Like, because people were like, oh, I don't ever want to not want or not enjoy desserts. I still love desserts,
Yeah.
but at 2 bites, and I was like, all right, I'm good.
Right.
And that was shocking to me. Like is satiated the right word? Whatever it was,
Yeah.
I was satisfied on much smaller portions. It wasn't just that I was full or hurt. It solved that where now if I get, and I battle this now, not on it. If you give me a big ass cheesecake, or we went to dinner with my brothers and they got 2 cheesecakes, they couldn't finish them. They left 2 halves. Well, they all sent them down to me and I finished every bit of it.
Right.
Where on a GLP-1, that
Wouldn't happen.
Wouldn't happen at all.
But like I eat ice cream almost every day.
Yeah.
I go get the Ben and Jerry's, fish food by the way, and I'll take a bite, maybe 2. And I'm like, oh, that was awesome. I loved it. That was great. I'm so happy. I don't want any more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I don't even think like, oh, I'm full. I don't want any more. I just don't happen to want any more. I put it back and I go about my day.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I was like, I need a bowl. I didn't have Ben and Jerry's because you can't afford Ben and Jerry's when I ate what I ate.
Yeah, you ate a whole one.
Because I grew up, you eat a bowl of ice cream. It's called a
Yeah.
bowl of ice cream. It's not called, who wants a spoonful of ice cream, right? But that's just not how it works.
Yeah. So GLP-1s were first created or researched or whatever for diabetes. Whatever I read talked about it. Heart doctors then fell in love with it. Obviously, we kind of talked a little bit about all the different things that they're testing, inflammation, everything else. So there's a gamut of things that now we believe that it treats. So how does it tie into MS, or does it? Is there any research, or you just, what do you know about, how do they relate?
So I don't actually know that they're doing phase 1 yet, but they're researching it. They're in phase 2 on lupus, which is a similar autoimmune disease. It's in trials for alcoholism. In fact, I was at a healthcare thing a couple of years ago, and they said that Medicare is worried about it. They actually won't cover any of the GLPs because it's being indicated for so many things that it'll literally bankrupt Medicare.
Wow.
Right? They're
I heard that too.
you know,
If everyone had to take it,
because
it would be
like it's a 20% reduction in heart events, 20% reduction in strokes. So you can almost indicate it and write a script if you have congestive heart issues,
right.
alcoholism. Like, where do you draw the line, right?
Yeah.
It's like this alleged wonder drug that does everything. I can't speak to any of that, but I am confident that it definitely lowers systemic inflammation, right? And a hallmark of MS is systemic inflammation. People with MS have a significant, your body is always under load, right? So like I don't have symptoms, right? I can walk, but my Oura ring and my sleep technology that I track my sleep says that I have a very low HRV, which is heart rate variability,
Okay.
which means I'm continuously under stress. Like my body is always under inflammatory stress. And I don't know, like I've changed my weight, I've changed all my metrics, I've changed a lot of things. I still have MS.
Yeah.
So for me, I am, again, open to more science, open to more reading, learning what the new thing is. But my plan is to stay on a low dose of GLP forever, or as long as I can, because I'm convinced that it's helping. And, you know, I say that I'm symptom free. That's because I don't tell people about it, but I still have symptoms.
Yeah.
And I believe that my symptoms are like always lessened because of being on the GLP.
Right. Well, I've listened to so many podcasts about it and read and a lot of doctors that really don't want to believe in it are going, I can't explain it, but that person was taking it for weight loss, but they're no longer drinking, like you said.
Right.
They're doing that, but their anxiety is gone. And was their anxiety tied to their weight, or is the drug removing the anxiety, which is not causing them to eat? Like, where is it in that? So when we talk about neurological diseases, and that's what they're saying, these things are fighting and winning on.
That's right.
And, you know, again, I was listening to something else, and they were just talking about, like, they're going to laugh. We're going to laugh at the GLP-1s that are out right now, 5 years from now, because they're going to be so much more focused and be able to just, I don't know, wonder drug. I hate to say it, but
GLP-3, which is retatrutide, is going to be FDA approved here in a couple of months, and that's going to be allegedly that's the game changer.
Okay, is that the one? Because I've heard that there's something coming. Because right now the biggest negative on it is the muscle loss.
Right.
Because a lot of people are losing a lot of muscle. I'm sure when you stop eating, you're starving the muscle. I don't know if you can speak to this on. Well, if you just eat protein and exercise, eat, you know, whatever you eat, make sure it's protein so you're not losing muscle. I don't know if that's even a possibility or if it's truly targeting protein. I don't know the answer to that. But I did hear there's a new GLP-1 that is either not going to target the muscle or it's being tested and it's not supposed to have the same negative effects of tearing down muscle.
Is there a ticker that says, we are not doctors giving medical advice?
Exactly.
Right, like
all I do is regurgitate what I see.
But here's what I think I know. GLP-1 does not target protein, but it significantly curbs your appetite.
Right.
So, you know, in a world where you're supposed to get anywhere from 0.6 to 1 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight or pound of body weight, it's almost impossible to get 220 grams of protein.
Yeah.
But my understanding, and I believe this, if you eat a significant amount of protein and you work out and you're taking GLP-1, you will not have muscle loss.
Right.
Of any sort of significant, I'm not gonna say you won't lose any muscle, but like it's not, the problem is the calorie deficit that you're not overcoming with the correct macros, right? The new one coming out is much less on appetite suppression. It's GLP-3 because it has three different mechanisms. It's got a little bit of appetite suppression, but it's got the GLP-2 thing, which is the blood glucose lowering, and it's got visceral fat reduction, which is like internal organ fat.
Good Lord, that's the new
That's
the new buzzword now too. Every podcast I listen to talks about
Reta.
Visceral fat.
All the gym bros talk about Reta. GLP-3 is the one that's coming.
Okay. So are you, and again, I don't know if you know it, are there differences in like Mounjaro and Ozempic? is it just a formula that's different, or is it just a company that's packaging it pretty close to the same?
I'm a little over my skis on that.
Okay, and that's fine because
like
I have no idea
Wegovy
the
and
answer.
Ozempic are, I think, GLP-1s, and tirzepatide is GLP-2. But I think the GLP-2 adds a different molecule.
Okay.
GLP-3 adds an add-on to the 2, adds another molecule. They're all similar. I mean, I'm a big advocate. Like I would say, try it and see if it works, because having some gastro issues that go away when you stop taking it is worth the being a 1/3 person that it's amazing and awesome.
So really, the only negative is that we don't know 10 years what it could possibly happen.
Sure.
But so far,
Sure.
we're 3 or 4 years in with this, and I've not heard any major studies of any. I mean, I'm sure there's some one-offs of people this, that, and the other, but nothing a pattern. So, well, I read statistics that 1 in 10 people have tried a GLP-1. Do you think that's accurate? Do you think that's a lot to me?
In the U.S., do I think?
You think it's just U.S.? That's probably the
300 or 30 million people have taken a GLP.
Have tried it.
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
I put it this way. I don't think no way.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it seems a little high, but I for sure think it's 15 million or 20. I mean, it's a lot, right?
And this comes off very judgmental, but me admitting I've taken it before. Whenever I see an adult over the age of 40 that's lost 30 pounds, and people are like, "What do you think they're doing? Do you think they're?" I'm like, "Yes." Like, I'm not going to ask them. I don't care. One, but I just don't. I think it's extremely difficult. I mean, extremely difficult at 45, 50 years old to lose 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Without this type of medicine.
And especially keep it off.
And keep it off, yeah.
Like you see someone that's like, you lose a lot of weight, and the next time you see them, like, did they lose weight? I don't know. I'm confused.
Yeah.
But like someone that loses a lot of weight and then it doesn't come back, you're like, I mean, it's a reasonable assumption. But again, I don't have a stigma. I'm more like, good job.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the same way.
Now, someone that loses all the weight, if someone lost the weight I lost without the GLP, maybe that guy could call me a cheater. I'd accept that because that guy.
Well, he's just a bigger badass. That don't take away from what I'm doing.
It's for sure harder,
much harder,
and respect, right?
Yeah.
Like awesome, good job. Keep you do you. I'm gonna do me, right? Like it's.
I just think most of the people, I guess, when I have these thoughts are people that I've known for the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
I did boot camp with you. I saw you exercise and do the 5. A handful of protein and a cup full of, and you did all that and you lost 8 pounds over 60 days. And now you've just lost 25 pounds at 10 years later with less exercise. And I'm not in their house. I don't know what they're doing, but I don't know. The reason I'm saying this, and I love this conversation, is because I want that stigma to be lifted.
Yeah.
If hopefully people aren't using it in the same way of anorexia. Like ladies, you're 120 and you're like, I want to be 115.
Sure.
Well, then you've got mental issues. You need to deal with that. But for a lot of us that my knees hurt and everything hurt, and to lose 20 pounds to be able to run again or get back on a bike again.
Yeah. And it's sort of like, I mean, I don't know anything about anorexia, but if you're someone that's like, keep upping your dose, like, oh, I need more. That's probably a problem, right? You need to like self-assess, right? But I'm on the lowest dose that I can take, and that's my plan. Like, just ride that out because it works for me. Yeah.
And I did read something that was talking about, there's a stigma behind, you're gonna have to take it forever, you're just gonna gain the weight back. And then somebody argued back, well, if you had to have heart medicine because you had high blood pressure, no one would say anything about you having to take that medicine forever. But then there's also the cycling and the reducing and plateauing and all that. So I think if you set that goal and you're not chasing some ridiculous, weight or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
So how does this affect you as a leader and a CEO of a healthcare company? Going through MS, the weight loss, the whole battle. How's that made you a better CFO? I keep saying CEO, which CFO is more important. So.
I think the best way to handle when I lived in Florida for a couple of years, this was like 20 years ago, 23 years ago. I worked with a lady in Florida, and then I hired her a year and a half ago to work with me in my current job. She's our VP of finance, and we were talking one day, and I just happened to mention, like, what's different, because like we didn't talk or hang out much in those period. She was like, you know what, you're a lot more compassionate than you used to be. And I immediately thought, that's exactly right. Like right now, today, I spent my entire day meeting with our healthcare brokers, and it wasn't about saving money for the company. It wasn't about nickeling and diming. It was about, how do we spend the money we're spending now, but increase benefits to people? How do we do a wellness program that actually means something? Like, not check a box wellness where we can get a discount on our fees if we get people to send in paperwork and pencil whip this. No, how do we actually get everyone to be healthier? How do we actually provide better care? How do we get 100% of our people? And by the way, I work in a physical therapy in nursing homes. Like, we have people that are caring for people all day long, but won't go get a physical. How do we get 100% of our people to go get a physical?
Yeah,
right.
Awesome.
And I think about that all the time, and I have a burden for that to be better for all of our people.
Yeah.
That's my best example. I can't say that it made me like a better.
No, that's awesome.
Like,
compassion is pretty huge.
Yeah.
I mean, that comes with age, comes with
right.
facing a life-threatening illness.
I mean, I was humbled,
but also, yeah,
for sure. Like, you could say, like, I was humbled by the
we all
MS
think
thing.
we're going to live forever.
Right.
Like, there's no,
and especially when you're in your 20s and then at 36, 30s. You get like, oh, you have MS. I'm like,
yeah,
that changes your perspective quite a bit.
Well, that's awesome. And I don't know how this relates, but I remember a conversation with, it's a previous company I worked at, and we were just talking, and our head of sales for the company, for the nation, was out of our office, and he was talking about how our insurance was so high down here because of the people in the north smoked a lot more. Like, our company was out of New Jersey. I think a couple of the headquarters were, and he was just saying they smoke so much more that it causes the company's health insurance rates to be higher because our headquarters was, I don't know if all that's true, if he was bullshitting.
We have better food down here, though. We have biscuits and gravy.
Oh, yeah. But we're not smoking.
No, we're not smoking.
We're about, smoking's got to be one of the worst things you could possibly do, right? Is that still bad? Or is that coming back?
No. Smoking is always bad.
Yes, always.
Yeah.
With vaping, can you vape? No.
I think smoking your lungs is not good.
No, it's not. It's not. Last question. What would you tell somebody that they're first diagnosed with MS? What would you tell them if they sat here and say, I just found out today, Matt?
Sure, yeah. First of all, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, there's nothing anyone can say that will make you happy and sleep great tonight, right? Like, if this is your first day, it's going to be rough for several months. But, get your head right and own your own path is what I would say, I think. Because you're going to get all kinds of opinions. You could go to 3 doctors and they'll give you 3 different things. And at the end of the day, you have to make the choices for your health, right? Like, I chose to drive 3.5 hours once a month when I was on this other treatment to rural Alabama when I could have gone 25 minutes. Right. But that path felt right. And I was convicted of it. Like, I knew it was the right path, and I owned it. Like, it wasn't, and again, if something like in the GLP example, like if 5 years from now, GLP is terrible and they say, like, oh my goodness, it's going to cause you all these things, I have to own that.
Yeah.
Like, I had the benefit of what it gave me when it gave it to me, and I'm at peace with that.
Right.
So I would say own your own path. And just because, like, the doctor is not God. Like, the doctor does not, like, doctors know surprisingly little about everything, right? So I all the time go to my doctor and say, like, best doctor, I just talked about how great he was.
Yeah.
And how I all the time say, like, hey, I read this study, and he's like, oh, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Like, really? Because there's not a lot of studies out, like,
and they don't have time to fully
they don't
all the
Yeah,
new
like
stuff. I know that's part of their job, but
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I also don't have to see 200 patients a day.
Right.
So like, yeah. And it's no aspersions on him, but like own your own path.
Yeah.
And know that, you're accountable for those decisions.
Yeah. I was listening to, again, this Dara CEO, and he had a lady on that was talking about all vitamins and all, and she was like, he said, all right, what are the top 5 supplements in order of importance? If you're going to take any of them, start here. And creatine, I guess, is another buzzword now. They're pushing creatine on. Yeah, not pushing it because all the things I've read sounded pretty awesome.
Yep.
But creatine was number 1, and then I don't remember the name of this vitamin, but it was all about the liver, and it was good. And that's kind of been part of my mom's problem, was her liver is not functioning well with the cancer medicine.
Right.
And so I'd ask the doctor about it. And I'm talking about, this lady is a national expert on a multi-million view podcast talking about, this is her number 2 vitamin. He had never heard of it. And I was fine with that, because he turned and bam, he just searched. He was like, there are no studies currently where it's linked to cancer and blah, 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 blah. I do see where this is. And I was like, wow, it was great that he was able to turn and look. But just to your point, he had not ever heard of the vitamin at all. I don't remember what it was, but I had not heard of it either. So, but that was her number 2 after creatine, and then was like C and D and, all those other things that we have to have. So, I appreciate this so much. We could probably continue. And is there anything I left out? Because we talked about a lot of things. I know there were some things that you wanted to say, or just discuss. Is there anything that I might have missed or glazed over too fast that you'd like to tell people?
I do want to say, for anyone that has MS that's watching this, I'm lucky. I know that. Like, right. I've never had a bad step because of MS. I've never had mobility.
What do you mean by a bad step? It's typically
usually like
you might actually fall bad step, or
I see someone with like their foot hanging and they have a cane, and I'm thinking they probably have MS.
Okay.
Like, right. There's some telltale signs, and I haven't had that. And I'm on a bunch of message boards. I'm on a bunch of Facebook groups, and I read a lot of it. And just because, like, I'm not up here saying like, oh, you should do what I did. Like, it's great. Like, I want to acknowledge that there's
GLP-1s do not cure MS.
There's a ton of luck involved.
Yeah.
So that's all I think that's good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you say luck, you're an extremely intelligent person, probably one of the smartest people I know. And that's probably because of your aptitude to learn and to research. So I know you're saying it's luck, and there probably is, by chance, your body is reacting, but it's probably reacting to a lot of things that you are doing because you've done the research and put yourself in the right position.
Sure. I mean, the thing is, like, I think that's a good point. I am acknowledging that I have been lucky.
Yes.
But don't think, oh, it's just luck, right?
Right.
Do the things.
Yeah.
Read the books. Engage in the studies. Like, the studies have changed. I honestly haven't done a lot of the studies in the last 6 or 7 years, because I feel like I'm on a great path, and I don't need to be in that world all the time.
Right.
But yeah, it's luck, but also help yourself out, right? Like, do everything you can. Do everything. Like, you wouldn't believe this stuff I've done. I've done hyperbaric stuff. I've done acupuncture. I was a vegan for a year. I spent hundreds of dollars a month on all kinds of crazy supplements. Like, if someone said they did it and it helped them, I went and bought all the pills and I took them. It's like,
did you do ivermectin? Does it cure?
No.
A lot of people that was not supposed to be smart aleck at all, because, when people get to a certain point with cancer, then the ivermectin conversation comes up. And then there's probably plenty of examples of where people have had success with ivermectin. And again, no relation to what we're talking about here, but I threw it out as a joke, and I want to retract it as a joke, because if things don't go well with my mom, that is definitely an avenue that we're going to try. Because like you said, we're going to try everything we can to make sure she lasts forever. So, all right. I already did my close, so I don't really have a wrap up now. It's such a good exit, and you nailed it, and I kept talking. So thank you.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
All right.